Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Wednesday, and welcome to another edition of the Drew Yari Show. I'm your host, Yari. If you hear a really not loud noise, that's my fan going on. As anyone that lives in Texas knows, it's already hot. It's getting close to summer. So, we're not close to that freaking fiery, freaking burn the skin off of your body heat just yet, but we're getting close to it. We have about 2 fans. I broke the fan in our room because I tried to fix it. The fixing things genes in it, unfortunately, it wasn't passed down to me. But from what I heard, I make it sound like it's an inside source. My inside source is telling me that my girlfriend's cousin, she actually bought us a new fan. Which is, good. That's cool of her. So we don't have to spend an extra $30-$40 on it. Another tower fan. I looked on OfferUp and I saw people selling the exact same fan as ours for like $15-$20. So if any of you use OfferUp, it's a pretty nice system. It's kind of like Craigslist but less creepy. Craigslist usually has a bunch of creeps on it. OfferUp's more like, I guess, less creepy. I've sold a couple of things on there. I don't know what else to sell that people would actually want. But, yeah. For anyone that follows me on Twitter, I know I promised that I was going to do a live show today. But from what I mentioned earlier, the whole thing with the fans, I'm not going to do a live show. I'm probably going to hold off on the live shows until I can actually see if I can get Wednesdays off from now on. So that way I can just do live shows on Wednesdays, maybe around 7 or 8. Because it wouldn't be fair for me to turn off the fan while I'm recording on Spreaker. Right now I'm recording on Audacity because it's a lot easier to edit afterwards. On Spreaker, for whatever reason, it picks up, it keeps picking up noises. Even if I don't have a fan on, even if I literally turn off all the sound in my house, the fans or whatever, it'll still pick up some weird shh type noise. And especially if I have a fan on, it'll be almost impossible for you guys to hear me. Even if I edit it, you're still going to hear it. So I just decided for now I'm just going to record. I'm just going to go back to Audacity and record. Makes things a lot easier for me and for you guys so you can hear the show. For any of you fans for any of you that know a friend of mine named Peter, Mr. Peter Stavros, for a while he's had his own thing. He's had his website. I think he had Peter's Post or something. I think that's what it's called. And now he has something called Bops and Bangers, which is, about music. He just had a podcast that came out, maybe last month, I believe, called the Peter Position. Which, again, I love that name. I can't help but smile when I say that name. Tomorrow I'll be recording with Peter. And not too sure what the main topic's going to be, but we're just going to talk about WrestleMania and Raw and SmackDown. Peter's also a wrestling fan like me. He's not into, comic books or, Marvel movies or... I don't really know if he watches too many movies. He's more political than me. He talks about, more what's going on in the world than me. Which is good. It's always good to, it's always good to know someone that has different tastes. Not all of us need to have the same thing in common. I have friends that don't like comic books or superhero movies or wrestling, but will somehow agree on something, somehow have something in common. And, I respect their opinion, they respect my opinion, so, yeah, I'll be on Peter's show tomorrow. So look out for that to happen. Look out for that to come out pretty soon. As for this show, obviously I'm going to record. I'm going to try and make it as short as I can. maybe like an hour even, because I have to go to work at 4. So I want to have enough time to be able to edit the show and upload it for you guys. So, like I always say, I always make the promise that I want to put these shows out on Wednesday as early as I can. I used to record every Tuesday, like every late Tuesday night, and then put it on Wednesday. I liked that at first, but then I got to the point where it was just like, there'd be days where I'm just tired as hell coming home on a Tuesday, and I don't want to do shit. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to doing Tuesdays, or maybe I'll just go back to waking up on maybe like a Wednesday morning and recording this and putting it out, or just edit it on a Tuesday and then this one. So yeah, yesterday was the last day of my vacation. I had asked for a vacation off for a WrestleMania weekend. I had asked for Friday through Monday off, and they had given me Tuesday off anyway. But Friday through Monday were the days I was getting paid, so I put in vacation hours and to get paid, or I used my vacation hours to get paid for those days. And they gave me Tuesday off, so I had 5 days off, which was awesome. But in a way, it's not because I really don't have any desire to go back to work. I don't. I didn't miss work at all. It's too stressful. It's not really so much the people. I mean, it's not so much the people I work with, because I like the people I work with. Some more than others, but management's okay. I mean, it could be a lot better than it could. It could be a lot better than it already is. But it doesn't really bother me. It's just the customers. That's really all it comes down to. I'm obviously not going to say where I work at, but it's just very stressful. I mean, work in general for anyone can be stressful, regardless of where you work. I mean, in my case, a grocery store or a big fortune, like a big CEO type of company, or wherever, any type of job anyone does can be stressful. But yeah, I really have no desire to go out to work, but hey, I gotta make money somehow. I gotta do something to be able to pay the bills and keep this show running. It ain't cheap, it's like they always say, you gotta spend money and make money. So, and I got some email from, speaking of Spreaker, I got an email from Spreaker saying that I'll be getting monetization from Spotify, which is crazy. Let me try and look up the email. Basically, they send it to anyone who either they have the monetization for Spreaker or they don't, and they let them know, hey, you'll now get paid by Spotify. And I wanna let me try and find the email. Where's the email? It's nowhere to be found. Okay, here we go. Your show is now earning on Spotify. We're riding with some big monetization news. Our program just expanded its roster to include Spotify. After weeks of working behind the scenes to get this finalized, we're so excited to make it official. Our ad technology is the simplest way for podcasters for all the levels to earn from their podcasts with minimum effort. And now with the addition of Spotify, our monetization program will include all the most important platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more popular listening apps. As we can see, we're already enabled on our program, which is great. This means you don't need to do anything special. Just keep inserting pre, mid, and post rolls to your episodes and watch your revenue grow with the addition of the new platform. If you need any assistance, please contact us and then you just give me the email. That's awesome. I started the monetization program sometime over the summer, I believe. Now I'm going to be earning some from Spotify. It's pretty awesome. I mean, Spotify for a lot of people, it's probably one of the biggest music sharing app sites that a lot of people use. I use it. You use it to listen to music. There's a lot of my friends' shows that are on Spotify that I can't find anywhere else. Like Julian from the Wrestling Court, and then the Peter Position. You can find it on Spotify. I listen to it on Spotify. So, hey, good for me. Getting more money from Spotify. I I guess that's really about it, about what's going on with me. Let's try and get into, let's start the meat and potatoes of what's going on. Yeah, well, I guess before we get into wrestling talk, we can maybe talk a little. Fuck it. Let's just talk about WrestleMania. There's not much going on. I didn't say that. Let's just go into the WrestleMania results. WrestleMania was this past Sunday, April 7th at East Rutherford, New Jersey, at MetLife Stadium. Attendance 82,265 people, which is apparently an indoor record, which is being disputed. That's just funny when WWE always comes out and says, "Hey, guess what? So and so stadium, you just broken a new in attendance record, yay!" And then someone wants to come out and be like, "No, there's actually this many people." It's like, did you fucking count like literally everybody in the stadium? I don't know. Hey, good for them. You can start WrestleMania. The first four pre-show matches. I only caught two. The final two of them. I didn't catch the Cruiserweight title match where Tony Nese beat Buddy Murphy, which I didn't see coming. I thought Buddy Murphy was doing a pretty good job with the Cruiserweight title. I mean, he's not really anything special. I mean, he's not exactly a guy who can go out there and talk people into a building like Enzo did. Tony Nese, as far as I can see from him, he's just a guy that has really nice abs. I mean, he's a decent guy, but he just kind of does the same thing that I would say mainly anyone on the Indies can do. I don't know. I guess good for Tony Nese. The 17 women WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, Carmella won by eliminating Sarah Logan. There's actually an order of elimination here. Maria Kanellis was eliminated first, Nikki Cross, Candice LeRae, Naomi, Ember Moon, Lana, Kairi Sane, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Selena Vega, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan actually eliminated Asuka, which that's just fucking retarded. And Carmella won, which, what has Carmella done lately? I mean, again, these, I said last week that these WrestleMania Royal Rumbles that they need to be scrapped. Like, there's no payoff for it. I mean, if you just want to keep it as a Rumble, as just a Battle Royal, whatever, but to give them these names, like for the men, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, when has that ever done anything for anyone in their career? Because I remember Cesaro won the first one, and it did nothing for his career. Baron Corbin won it, did nothing for him. Big Show won it, did nothing for him. Matt Hardy won it. I mean, yeah, he won the tag titles with Bray, but again, these Battle Royals, they don't do anything for anyone. The Royal Rumble does something for somebody, but these Battle Royals, they do nothing for no one. I guess it's just one of those things where it's like, well, we don't want to be mean and leave people off the card, so let's give them a chance to at least be shown on WrestleMania. And by that I mean, if they whine on social media about how they're being mismanaged and misused, let's put them on the show, i.e. Naomi, who gets an entrance for the Battle Royal while nobody else does, because she whined on social media. Yeah, Carmella won that. She looked pretty good, by the way. Here's a match I caught maybe like the last couple minutes of. Hawkins and Ryder defeated the Revival to win the tag titles. For a second time, actually, because if anyone doesn't remember, Hawkins and Ryder used to be the Major Brothers when they debuted in WWE. They debuted in ECW, and then they got put on the main roster with Edge, with his, I guess they call it La Familia. It was Edge, Chavo Guerrero, Vicky Guerrero, I forget a guy named Bam, I believe. And then you had, Hawkins and Ryder, and I think they're just called the Edgeheads. And they ended up winning the tag titles. So this isn't the first time they've been tag champions. Yeah, so good for Hawkins and Ryder, I guess. They won in their hometown. They seem legit happy. It just seems the company has some weird boner for Zack Ryder, though, because he won the Intercontinental title 3 years ago at Mania in that ladder match, which nobody nobody even expected him to win. I think they just I think we were just like, okay, they put in Zack Ryder. They gave him Zack Ryder a main, and it's so cool. And then he wins it, and then he loses it the very next night. But, I don't know, Zack Ryder, he's just lucky to be in this company. Like, he has, like, what? He has, like, a podcast about wrestling toys. Like, because he had his show on YouTube, and now he has some podcasts about wrestling toys. I mean, hey, good for him. Now he's a champion again, or a tag champion. And I call him Curtis Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins, has gold again, and he still remains with the company. So we'll see how long this lasts. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Braun Strowman won, which we all expected, by throwing out Colin Jost, which I kind of had this kind of scary suspicion of, what if the SNL guys actually won it? Like, what would happen if, because, there was a point where Braun, he was eliminating the Hardys, or the Hardys were trying to eliminate Braun, and then Colin Jost and Michael Shea go up to Braun and lift his legs up. I'm thinking, holy fuck, they're gonna win. If that would have happened, I think I would have thrown my wings at the fucking TV, because we have wings, by the way. But no, Braun Strowman fought him off and threw both of them out, and won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I've noticed about Braun. Braun looks like he's in a lot better shape than he was before, because, not that he was fat or anything. I mean, I'm not one to call people fat, because I'm kind of fat. But, Braun Strowman, for a while, he was always kind of, he was still a big dude, but he always had kind of he looked more meaty than, muscly, if that makes sense. In this Battle Royal, he looked like he was cut, like cut out of granite. So, I mean, yeah, good for him, because I saw him on SmackDown, and he looked freaking, cut. He had, muscles on top of muscles, so, and we'll talk about SmackDown after this, but, hey, good for Braun. Looks like Braun is getting another push again. We'll see how that works. And then there's a funny segment with Jost and Shea where they're in the back, and you see the outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, about to give him a rectal exam, or a colonoscopy, whatever you call it. I popped for that. So, anyways, the first match on the main card. Actually, the show began with Alexa Bliss coming out, and then bringing out Hulk Hogan. The crowd actually gave Hogan a good pop, which, I mean, that's expected. So, and out comes Paul Heyman during Hogan's entrance, which I thought was pretty funny. And he comes out and says, since we can't be the main event, then we might as well just get this match started so we can leave and go to Las Vegas, where we're ultimately appreciated. Nod, nod, wink, wink. And the first match on the card is Brock Lesnar versus Seth for the Universal Championship. Before the bell ever rings, Brock is beating the shit out of Seth and suplexing him and F5ing him on the floor and throwing him across the table, yelling at the ref, start the damn match. Match starts. Brock continues to beat the shit out of Seth, goes for an F5. Seth somehow gets out of it, pushes Brock into the ref, and then, low blows Brock. Goes for 3 curb stomps and pins him 1, 2, 3. And Seth is now your new Universal Champion, which I didn't see coming. I honestly didn't see that coming. I guess the only way to beat Brock is to just kick him in the nuts, because how believable is it going to be for a guy like Seth Rollins? So Seth Rollins is in impeccable shape. Because, we call him CrossFit Jesus, but Brock's a big, scary-looking motherfucker. How is it going to be believable if a guy like that can just beat him in a straight-up wrestling match? So, the only way to beat him is just kick him in the nuts. So, yeah, and I'm happy to see Seth as champ, because Seth's deserved it. For the past year, Seth has been, arguably the best, the top babyface on Raw. People love him. People chant, burn it down, which surprisingly was the best way to get him over, is to add burn it down to his entrance. And, he's pretty good. He's a decent promo talker. He's not the best, but he's pretty decent. And Seth deserved it. He earned it. But yeah, I'm just glad Brock Brock's reign of terror was finished. Brock was on Raw. He probably won't be on Raw for a while. So, hey, it's always good when you don't see Brock. Next match is AJ Styles. AJ Styles defeated Randy Orton in a singles match. There was kind of a funny part during the match where the crowd was chanting, "We can't see." And because there's fan video where if you notice, there's this big ass light that's shining. I think in the middle of the ring, or like close to the middle of the ring, and anyone who was sitting out, I guess like far behind or far to the right, couldn't see. Because there was a point where the fans were chanting something, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was "We can't see" until after the show. But then, as soon as the lights turned off, they started chanting. They started chanting for something. They started cheering for something, which obviously we know now because they turned the light off. And then Randy, I believe it was Randy Orton or AJ Styles that apologized for it, which hey, good for them. AJ Styles, kind of need this one because Randy. What exactly does Randy want? I mean, there's a joke about Randy. What exactly does he want? Like, why is he so angry? He doesn't really need this win. AJ, I think, needed it more. And the match was alright. It wasn't a barn burner the way... I don't think anybody expected this match to be a barn burner, but it was an okay match. I think AJ Styles kicked out of an RKO. And then he went for another Styles clash. He went for two Styles clashes. One outside the ring and one in the ring. One for the pin, 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles wins the match. It was on SmackDown. Now there was Orton. Supposedly, it was reported that AJ might have hurt himself during the match. A lot of injuries coming out of Mania. That wasn't the first injury coming out of Mania. But that's what I heard. AJ Styles might have possibly hurt himself. And let's check this out real quick. AJ Styles suffered an injury at Mania. Let's look up what this injury is. AJ Styles appeared to suffer an injury. PW Insiders Mike Johnson reported that AJ Styles was scheduled to participate in a fan event, only to be pulled. The company told the incivil crowd that AJ Styles was injured, but the injury remains unclear. So, even before the injury, Styles' direction post WrestleMania is anyone's guess. They're not really saying what his injury is. Which is weird, because AJ usually doesn't get hurt that much. He usually knows a guy that tends to take care of his body. Both him and Orton won on SmackDown. I think Orton's going to take some time. They might even give AJ some time, which probably post the shakeup, after next week. Which is good for them. A lot of guys need some time off. Especially after Mania. They deserve much needed time off. So anyways, next match, Fatal 4 for the Tag Team Championships on SmackDown. The Usos defeated Aleister Black and Ricochet, Rusev and Nakamura, and then the Bar. It wasn't a terrible match. It was actually a pretty good match. It wasn't as bad as last year's SmackDown tag match. That was bad. This one was actually pretty good. I honestly thought Black and Ricochet were going to win. For some reason, here's what I thought they were going to win on TakeOver, and then walk into Mania, and then win the SmackDown tag titles, just so WWE can be like, they're both champions of both brands, they can do that shit that they've done before. But they decided, just let the Usos keep it, which, hey, I'm glad the Usos kept it. I like the Usos. Black and Ricochet, here's the thing, I like them as a tag team, but it doesn't make any sense why they're a tag team. There's really no backstory as to why they're a tag team, except the fact that they're both popular wrestlers on NXT. Rusev and Nakamura, they were put together by accident because the referee botched the count. And then the Bar, they've been around longer than we thought they would. Hopefully they get split up with this shakeup. But the Usos won. Sorry, it was perfect. Anyways, next match. Fellas Come Anywhere match. Shane McMahon defeated The Miz. Basically a match thought it was going to be. It wasn't going to be a catch as catch can. I forgot. Jim Ross says it in a way that doesn't make any sense. Like, it wasn't going to be a barn burner. Like, you knew this match needed to happen for these two to beat the shit out of each other. There was a point where Shane McMahon is getting a lot of offense in, and he's just beating the shit out of Miz. And he's going for a diving elbow drop onto the table with the Miz on it. Miz's dad comes up and tells Shane to stop, gets in the ring, and then puts his arm up. You guys have already seen the meme with the Miz's dad, Mr. Miz. Puts his arm up, and Shane kind of waves it off like, fuck this guy, and then he's beating the shit out of him. And then the Miz comes in and beats the shit out of Shane, and then they go into the crowd, which, makes sense, because a lot of Falls Count Anywhere matches, for some reason they like to end it in the ring, which, that's the point, I don't know, that kind of ruins the point of Falls Count Anywhere. But they went into the crowd, and the Miz just starts beating the ever-living piss out of Shane. And there was a point where Shane fell 8 feet to the concrete, and he hit a golf club. He fell on top of a golf cart, and then hit the ground 8 feet, and still kicks out. And when that happened, I went, Shane's gonna win. And then towards the end, they're on top of, like, I guess where they do the they do the camera work, from inside the crowd, so they can film, I guess, the side of the ring. And that was more than likely going to be the end of the match. It was going to be a big spot. With Shane, there's always going to be a big spot. So Miz decides to suplex him off that top balcony, and they fall onto not concrete, but I guess a safer area. And as they fall, Shane's arm, both of Miz's arms are down, and Shane's arm is over the Miz. And I just kind of thought to myself, shit. And that's when Charles Robinson comes in, 1, 2, 3. Shane wins. Shane did not need to win. I don't know why he needed to. I mean, from a wrestling perspective, he's the heel. And he won by the scrape of his teeth because he got lucky, because Miz didn't take into account that he was not only going to hurt, Shane was going to hurt himself. And then, again, Shane's arm lands over the Miz. Shane didn't need to win this match. Miz needed this match more than Shane. He needed to solidify himself as a top babyface, which I think this is where they're going with him. He was on SmackDown. It seems like he's taking time off because Maurice had a kid, so he's taking time off to tend to his second daughter. And also, I guess, to do work for Miz and Mrs., which I didn't watch the first episode. I actually like the show. It's pretty funny. Miz and Maurice, they come off as very likable. Maurice is actually surprisingly very funny. As long as I've seen her, she's always had this stigma about her, where she's, she's French, so you just automatically assume French people are suck up. But she's actually very funny. She's very cynical, and I like cynicism in anyone. Miz and Shane. The match was alright. It was what you would thought it would be. Miz just beating the shit out of Shane, but Shane didn't need to win this. Next match, fatal 4-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The Iconics defeat the Boston Hug Connection, Nia Jax, Beth Phoenix, and Natalya. At the end of the match, I forgot who they pinned. There's a big schmoz between Beth Phoenix and Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is going for the pin, and then Peyton Royce moves out of the way to pin Beth Phoenix, and now the Iconics are the WWE Women's Championship, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Which, I didn't hate it, but I just didn't want it to happen. The Iconics are just not very good. Peyton Royce, you can maybe make the case for her that she's passable in the ring. Billie Kay is just bad. They're not very. Both of them are just not very good in the ring. They're not very good promo cutters. They're not funny. They're kind of cringeworthy. I know a lot of people like them, but that's I don't like them. That's just an opinion. They look good, but that's about it. Somebody on Twitter, said, make the case of they were heels and they did what heels would do. They took advantage of a situation, which I get that. So I have a feeling that they're going to keep the tag titles for a while. WWE, again, they seem to have a boner giving people long title runs that don't deserve them, i.e. Jinder Mahal or Carmella. They held on those titles for a while until somebody that was actually better and worth having the championship took it off. So I think they're going to keep them for a while. Maybe over the summer. Like I said, for Kofi, we'll get into Kofi for a bit, but Kofi's title run, was going to last. I think it's going to last until over the summer. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But, I think the Iconics are going to be champions for a while. Speaking of Kofi, next match, Kofi Kingston with the New Day defeats Daniel Bryan with Rowan for the WWE Championship. Match of the night. No questions asked. This is the match of the night. In my opinion, this probably should have been the main event. Judging by how the main event went. But Kofi beating Daniel Bryan, it needed to happen. Kofi's on a big momentum. The crowd obviously loves him. He's getting a big cheer. It's not just one of those things where they want it to happen at Mania, and then after that, they're just like, well, we want it to happen, so hey, good for him. No, they're still cheering Kofi. They're still giving him a huge push. Kofi's a relatable wrestler because he just comes off as a likable guy. He's very likable. He's a family man. He's someone that WWE would be proud of as their champion because they can put him on Good Morning America or send him to hospitals to visit sick kids, for Make-A-Wish foundations. I've always been a Kofi fan. I've always been a fan of Kofi since he came to the company when he was in ECW and he had, the Jamaican gimmick. And then apparently, I think his parents got pissed off at it, so they decided to drop the Jamaican gimmick. And then there was that whole bit with Triple H was like, wait, aren't you supposed to be Jamaican? So, but yeah, Kofi is a very intense back and forth match. I'm surprised there wasn't a point in the match where the referee didn't, throw out the New Day and Rowan. There was a point in the match where Rowan tried to get involved because he wouldn't let Kofi pass through to get in the ring. And then, Xavier, came out of nowhere and flew at Rowan, and Rowan, threw him to the side. Big E tried to do something to him, and then Rowan just, I think, threw him out, and then Kofi did something to Rowan, and then Big E did the big ending to Rowan outside of the ring. And then in the ring, as the final few minutes between him and Daniel put him in the label lock, and somehow Kofi got out. Daniel goes for the flying goat kick, which I kind of thought, oh shit, like this might be it. But I've noticed you already know when it's going to be a kick out, just judging by how the announcers are, because when you see someone going for their finishing move, just listen to the announcers. You hear him go, "This could be it. He's still the champion," or "New champion." Kofi kicked out, which I kind of saw coming. And then Kofi goes through Trouble in Paradise, and the announcers were kind of quiet about it, which that means new champion. They didn't expect to happen. So Kofi wins the WWE Championship for the first time, first ever. It feels kind of messed up saying first ever black champion because you have The Rock. The Rock, was part black, part Samoan. It seems kind of messed up to say, but Kofi is the first ever full, black champion. Not just half black, but full black. He's also the first, African-born champion because he's from Ghana, West Africa, and then he moved to Massachusetts, but he's born in Ghana, West Africa. And then, kind of the emotional, point was you saw the New Day come in. They looked genuinely happy for Kofi, and you can just, and John Draper, shout out to John Draper, good friend of the show, good friend of mine. He pointed out that you can just tell that the New Day really love wrestling. You can just look in their heart that they genuinely love wrestling. That wrestling is in their blood. They love it. They love their fans. And that makes them awesome to watch. Because you saw Xavier, he had tears in his eyes, when he was hugging Kofi. Big E, he looked like he was trying to, not explode. And then Kofi brought in his family, brought in his wife and 2 kids. which that's always the good payoff. Seeing kids seeing their dad be a champion for the first time. Be the world champion for the first time. So good for Kofi. This is the match of the night. Match of the year candidate, that's for sure. Moment of the night. Kofi deserved it. However long they decide to keep his title reign, I'm not sure. I pointed out, I gave a suggestion maybe until SummerSlam, or maybe before SummerSlam, because if you're going to turn Big E against Kofi, I would say have him win Money in the Bank, and then have him cash it in before SummerSlam as his way of turning heel. Or just have him turn heel the next night on SmackDown. So that way you can have Big E and Kofi in a feud. Somehow include Xavier, and I'm not sure how you would include Xavier. Have him be as the mediator. I'm not sure who to choose because you guys are my friends. So, yeah, good for Kofi. Next match, Samoa Joe defeated Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship in a minute. Literally a minute. Rey Mysterio apparently got hurt. He got hurt at... What was it? I think he got hurt on the SmackDown before Mania. And they made it clear that he was good to go. So, the length of this match, I'm not sure if it was a combination of they were trying to rush for time to get this match out of the way, or it's because Rey was still hurt. I think it was both. All in all, I thought this match was pointless. If Rey wasn't 100%, you should just cut the match and just have it on SmackDown the next night. So it was a pointless match. I mean, good for Joe because it's his first Mania, and it's his first Mania win as a champion. Rey Mysterio came out dressed as Mysterio from Spider-Man. Wink, wink. I was racking my brain thinking, who is he supposed to be? Because Rey's known for coming out and wearing Marvel DC stuff to the ring at all the Manias. One Mania he was Captain America, and another Mania he was the Flash, and he was Batman one Mania. He was Mysterio from Spider-Man, which I guess was cool. I really could have done without this match. Speaking of a match I could have done without, Roman Reigns defeated Drew McIntyre in probably the worst match of the night. No reaction for Drew. It seemed like there were a lot of boos for Roman. But then again, it's New York. New York's a very honest crowd. It looks like the whole Roman Reigns, experiment, the whole Roman Reigns, face reaction from the crowd is kind of over with. I don't know. It's because it was just the WrestleMania crowd. Because I don't know where they're going to be next for Raw. But they're going to be in Montreal, Quebec, I believe. So, yeah, Canadian fans are very honest too. So, but this match again, another match I could have done without. They needed to get Roman Reigns on the card somehow. All in all, I don't think they really needed Reigns on the card. They could have just kept him off. I'm pretty sure Reigns would have been fine with it. He didn't look like he was 100%. He really doesn't look like he's 100% since he came back. I don't know. They really shouldn't have brought him back so quick. I don't know if it's because Reigns kind of forced himself to come back, or they forced him to come back. Which they shouldn't have forced him to come back. That should have been legal, by the way. But yeah, just a very bland match that you could have seen on Raw. It was what it was. You knew Reigns was going to win. Drew McIntyre, for whatever reason, they have a boner for him. Supposedly giving him a huge push after Mania. Anyways, next match, Triple H defeated Batista in a no-holds-barred match. Had Triple H lost, he would have been forced to retire. 24 minutes and 45 seconds, the longest match of the night. From what I heard, Triple H was going to have the longest and most expensive entrance of the night, I guess. Because a lot of people kind of put up the rumor that he might have came out as Thanos, and that perhaps he's going to do a Guardians entrance as Drax. Or, I just call him Drax. Batista was going to do a Guardians entrance as Drax. But no, Batista just came out in like kind of, I guess, a Hollywood type entrance where his music was playing, and then he came out in like an SUV or something, or Bentley. I'm not good with cars, by the way. As you can already tell, I just know that they start and then they drive you from A to B. So he comes out, makes his big entrance. I didn't see this until somebody pointed it out. He actually tripped over the ropes when he entered the ring. So it was kind of like a Shockmaster type too, a bit. There's like some funny interaction with Batista and Shawn Michaels, and he sees his co-star from the movie, I guess, Stuber. The star of it, I don't know how to say his name to save my life. He's a funny actor, I like him. And then he goes up to Triple H's parents, and his dad's like, "Nah, you're not gonna win." So it was kind of like friendly, banter. So then Triple H makes his supposed long entrance, which is basically Mad Max. Because I could have sworn he'd done that before. Because he's in this weird stage where he likes being on motorcycles to make his entrance. Because I think he did one. I think the one against Seth Rollins, he came out like doing a Sons of Anarchy type entrance. And then I forget what he did last year. Who did Triple H wrestle last year? Does anyone remember? He wrestled somebody last year. Oh yeah, it was the Ronda Rousey debut thing. Sorry if it sounds like I'm really close to the microphone. I'm scratching my foot. It's a good scratch. Anyways, this match is what you thought it would be. And in the beginning, Triple H is getting a lot of offense in. He pulls out like this toolbox with a chain in it, which I don't know why there would be a chain in a toolbox. And he just starts whipping Batista with it and choking him with it. And then he takes out something else. He takes out these two pliers, one big plier to quote-unquote break Batista's finger, and then he takes out a tiny plier to rip out his nose ring. There's a point where he beats him up with a chair, and then props a chair over him and says, "Hey, that's a nice nose ring you got there." And then quote-unquote rips the nose ring out of his nose, which we all saw that coming. And it's painfully obvious that Batista propped his nose ring to where it could come out easily, not just be ripped out. And if that's the case, they should have went with it and just had like him bleeding out of his nose. I don't know how nose rings work. But yeah, this match was what it was. It was kind of boring in some parts because we've seen Triple H and Batista wrestle before, and not all their matches were amazing. Their Hell in a Cell match I thought was probably the best one. And yeah, this match was what it was. I think it was kind of rushed because you bring Batista back in a weird way. You have him. It doesn't even show him beating up Ric Flair. It just shows him dragging him out of a room, and then he's whining, and then he just does a whole "Give me what I want, give me what I need." So Batista made it clear that he just wanted to wrestle his last match against Triple H. He didn't put out feelers saying I want to wrestle Brock Lesnar or Seth Rollins. He just wanted to wrestle Triple H and be done with because now he's a star. He has to do that Avengers Endgame press because we all know he's coming back for Endgame. I think he even spoiled it because he was like, "Yeah, I'm coming back." Everyone knows it. And Triple H won. I think we all knew he wasn't going to lose because he's supposedly advertised for the next Saudi Arabian pay-per-view. And Saudi Arabia loves their old school attitude stars. So, ain't good for Triple H. But Ric Flair came out and gave Triple H his sledgehammer. And then Triple H does, I guess, his own version of a Superman punch with a sledgehammer. And then Triple H pins him, 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Triple H now keeps his in-ring career. Yeah. Next match, probably the worst match of the night, Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. Baron Corbin defeated Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's last match. There was the talk of there being a swerve where Kurt would either squash Corbin and have like John Cena come out and take his place. John Cena appeared in a skit earlier with the Lies where he came out as the Doctor of Thugonomics, which that was actually pretty cool. But no swerve. Corbin won the match, Kurt's final match. I made it very clear Kurt deserves so much better. He should have had a better opponent. Supposedly, he wanted a bet. He wanted, like a John Cena as his last match. For whatever reason, they gave him Baron Corbin because they had this weird boner for Baron Corbin. I don't know why. The guy's not very good at talking. He's not very good in the ring. They dress him as an Applebee's waiter. You listen. I listen. Here's the thing. I listen to all heels, faces. I listen to their voice, and I try to hear how it sounds when they talk, how it comes off. When a guy like Daniel Bryan talks as a heel, you can hear the emotion, you can hear the rage, you can hear the anger in his voice because he's trying to make it sound believable. He wants you to believe that he's this piece of shit heel because he's committing to it because he's comfortable talking in front of an audience. And I buy it. A guy like Kevin Owens when he's a heel, when he talks, it sounds like he's believing in himself that I'm this piece of shit, heel. With Baron Corbin, it sounds like it doesn't sound like he believes in himself. Like his whole thing is, well, I'm getting paid, so I might as well just come out here and do what the fuck I want. Because I hear him talk, he's like, Kurt Angle, I will beat you because I'm Baron Corbin, and you fans are all crybabies. Ha 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 ha. And I'm just like, dude, put some more inflection in your voice. Like, what's the thing that Shane McMahon says to Greg Hamilton? Like, what's that word he says to him? Like when he wants him to say his entrance a lot better. I forget the word. I'm pissed off that I can't remember the word that Shane McMahon uses. But Baron Corbin needs more. Kurt, final match against Baron Corbin, loses, which I would have been happier if Kurt won, at least, but no, they wanted him to go as a loser. Next match, Finn Balor as the Demon defeated Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush for the Intercontinental title. Finn Balor comes out as a Demon. Bobby Lashley comes out with these weird vampire contacts. I don't know if he was trying to be Blade, but I guess because I think what's his name? Corey called him the Demon Hunter. Here's one thing I don't get is why they had Balor win it at the previous pay-per-view and then have Bobby Lashley win it back, only to have Balor win it again. I think what made more sense is if Balor lost at the last pay-per-view, which I believe was Fastlane, and then just being a feud with Bobby, and Bobby's like, you can't beat me. You Finn Balor cannot beat me. And then Finn would be like, oh, Bobby Lashley, I know I can't. That's a bad Irish accent. But I know someone who can beat you. The Demon Finn Balor. Yeah, he could just done it like that, but hey, whatever. Finn comes out as the Demon and beats Bobby Lashley clean because that surprised me because they love Bobby Lashley. They love Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. I'm surprised they had Balor go over and clean. So Balor is the new Intercontinental Champion for a second time. Needed to happen. You kind of needed something to happen to make the crowd happy because they were not happy with what happened with Corbin and Angle. They were not happy with Corbin going over Angle. You need the crowd to leave happy. Anyways, last match, main event time. Becky Lynch defeated Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair to win both the SmackDown Raw Women's Championships. Very good match. Very good back and forth. A lot of aggressiveness, a lot of shit talking. There's a point where Ronda is, getting chopped by Charlotte and says, "Is that what you got, bitch?" And Charlotte literally just pimp slapped her right across the face, which I thought was pretty cool. A lot of good shit talking from Ronda. It seemed like Charlotte kind of carried the match, and it was good to have Charlotte in this match, so that way she can take away the heat from Ronda, because the crowd doesn't like Ronda. They don't like outsiders. They don't like Charlotte because they think that she's entitled, and they love Becky. So you needed somebody to kind of be in the middle, take that heat away. Becky with her weird, her impression of Brave. She had like a dick ton of. She She had like a dick ton of hair, and she was wearing some weird getup, which it didn't bother me. Very good match back and forth. The ending was Ronda was going for she was going for like that fireman's carry move she does, where she puts it into an armbar. Becky counters it into a schoolboy pin. 1, 2, 3. Becky's the champion. There was controversy with the finish because when you look at the roll up, Ronda is not. She didn't position herself right to be able to kick out. Because if you saw at the end of the match, Ronda was legit pissed off at the way the match ended, and there's a rumor coming out that supposedly the referee had botched the count, and that how it was supposed to end was that Ronda was supposed to make not Ronda, but Becky was supposed to make Charlotte tap out. Which, I mean, it makes sense, but then it came out it came out a few days ago that the match went as planned. And then it came out and said that Vince fined the referee for messing up the main event. All the match was okay until the ending. You can't really blame how the match went because the fans just seemed like they were just out of it because this fucking event was 7.5 hours long. It started at 4 with the pre-show, and then the WrestleMania, the main show, started at 6. And I just kind of looked at it as like, okay, 12 matches, you have 4 hours. They can easily get this done by 10. Or at least maybe 10, 15. But for whatever reason, they just have a boner for making these shows super fucking long. And they don't take into account that kids stay up and watch this. That kids need to go to school the next day. And that podcasters like myself. Because I know the Soup guys were covering. And they didn't even do a show after Mania. It was just DTKC. The Soup guys didn't do a show. They literally had to go home afterwards. So, Mania they need to really end these shows on time, at a better time. Because lately, before Mania, we've been getting the shows ending like around 9:30, 9:45 my time, which is Central Time. But I guess for their bigger events, they think, people would want to stay up to watch these matches. No, there's a fan video of a dude in attendance that was literally showing people around him asleep. So, and I look at the main show matches, and I see a couple of matches that shouldn't have been on the show. Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio, you could have easily cut that out. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, could have easily cut that out. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, the Revival, you could have easily cut that out. You could have had them win the very next night on Raw. That would have been a better moment. What else? Yeah, I mean, you could have cut those matches out, so that would have saved you. That would have saved you 3 extra matches, and you would have been able to get out in time. So, and because I had a theory as to why the match ended so early. If it wasn't really a botch, was it a way for WWE to just say, "Hey, we gotta go home. Cut this match out early. We gotta get the fuck out of here." If that's the case, then fuck them, because they had put so much time and energy in this match, promoting it, for over a year, like it's gonna be the greatest match ever. And they decide to go, we're running on time, so we gotta end this match real quick. That's just lazy writing. Like Deadpool said, that's just lazy writing. But that's why I said earlier, I think Kofi winning should have been the main event, because that was a bigger moment. I don't know if it would have reacted better by that time, because again, by that time, people I guess were already tuned out. Maybe Kofi would have woken him up. But I mean, yeah, this match was pretty good. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't as amazing as I thought it would be, or as anyone else would thought it would be. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I honestly think that Kofi should have been the one making at the show. Not because I hate women, not because I'm a misogynist, not because I think women belong in the kitchen, blah, blah. No, just the way the match ended, just the way the whole match ended, or the whole pay-per-view, was like, it was just odd position. So there was a lot of matches I could have done without. But yeah, I just think Kofi should have made it at the show with his moment winning. But yeah, WrestleMania. WrestleMania's in the books. And overall, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Wasn't amazing. Didn't rock my socks off. The last good WrestleMania I remember was... I'm trying to remember. Maybe like the WrestleMania where The Rock came back. Because yeah, there's some good matches on there. WrestleMania in Houston back in 2001. Yeah, that was probably the last real amazing WrestleMania. So yeah. There's WrestleMania for you guys. The very next night on Raw, they announced the Superstar Shakeup is next week. For Raw and SmackDown. The show began with Seth Rollins coming out, getting a big pop, and then the New Day comes out, and they throw out the idea of, since, the women had their, winner-take-all, match, as they'll do tonight, and then it being Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston, the winner would win both titles, to which you already knew no one was going to win. There had to be a fuck finish, disqualification, or whatever have you. It would kind of surprise me and won't, because they've taken titles off of guys before, the night after they win. They did it to Christian, and they gave it to Randy Orton for whatever reason. And then they did it to someone else. I knew they weren't going to take it off Kofi or Shane or Seth. They go out there and I think wrestle for maybe 7 minutes, and then the Bar comes out and attacks both guys, and the crowd immediately turned on the company and started chanting AEW. Ugh. I don't think WWE made a mistake of sending the Bar out. Here's what I think is hey, they're both SmackDown guys. I guess they're trying to promote the shakeup next week. But why not just have maybe someone like Drew McIntyre come out, and then Drew McIntyre or Baron Corbin attack both guys, since they're both Raw guys? Or why not do it in a better spot in a match instead of 7 fucking matches in? Have it to where it looked like Kofi was going to win, or it looked like Seth is going to win, and then just have Drew McIntyre and whomever attack both men, and then you make an tag match. The crowd still would have booed, but it would have made sense. It wouldn't have, I don't think it would have been as bad. But to have the Bar come out, it didn't make any sense, because at this point, Kevin Castle, I think Kevin Castle said it. I think if it were a different team that the crowd actually responded better to, it wouldn't have had a worse effect, because the Bar is kind of worthless now. Not that they were ever amazing before, because they're not a terrible tag team. Cesaro's obviously the best wrestler in the group. Nobody likes Sheamus. But if it were a different tag team, like say the Revival, they came out and attacked Kofi and Seth, or I think of another tag team. Say they sent Nakamura and Rusev from SmackDown to attack, Seth and Kofi. I don't think the crowd still would have booed because they ruined a good match, but I don't think they would have been as pissed off as with the Bar. So, but if your crowd's chanting AEW during the main event of your show, of supposed to be one of your biggest shows of the year after Mania, then something's wrong. That had to have caught Vince's attention. There's no way Vince heard that and would have ignored it. That has to catch his attention. But it ended with Seth and Kofi winning, and then the very next night on SmackDown, Kofi comes out and has his New Day celebration, and then the Bar comes out and challenges him to a 3-on-3 match, and then says, "Hey, we made a friend on Raw," and I immediately knew it was Drew McIntyre, because it had to be. And out comes Drew McIntyre. We're skipping all of Raw, which it wasn't that good. But Raw. There weren't really too many call-ups. The only call was Lars, and Lars came out to attack Kurt, which I'm not impressed by Lars. He needs to show me a little bit more than just, I'm going to come out and attack Legends. He needs to do a little bit more. Hopefully they don't try and make him into Lacey Evans or Sami Zayn for that matter. Sami Zayn came out. He came back. It would have been better if they made it a surprise rather than him just being shown on the big screen saying, "Hey, Sami Zayn's coming to the ring." Like, no, have it come back from a commercial and then play Sami's music. And then he comes out and issues an open challenge, and out comes Finn Balor, and they announce it for the Intercontinental Championship. They had a pretty good match. Finn wins, and then Sami cuts this really weird promo where he goes back to being a heel and says that the crowd sucks and they can all go to hell and that they're all entitled, and then WWE's toxic and yada yada yada, and then he leaves. Does the same shit on SmackDown where he just says, "Yeah, you guys aren't worth it," and then walks back. So I don't know where that Sami heel's going, but I liked him better with Kevin Owens. Sami by himself, I mean, he's a good wrestler, but I don't see him getting as far as maybe Intercontinental title run, maybe. Going back to Lars. Lars is at Kurt Angle, which, I mean, it's good to see Lars on the main roster because he was supposed to appear a while back, but then he apparently, there's something wrong with his health. Like, he had an anxiety attack, which, I mean, anxiety attacks are no joke. I can attest to it. Now he's here, and what are they going to do with him? I'm not sure. Is he going to be, the next, big, crazy, scary monster guy, or is he going to feuding with Kevin Hart at WrestleMania next year? I don't know what's going to happen. What else happened? Alexa Bliss made her in-ring return and defeated Bayley, which I was more used to seeing Alexa Bliss not wrestling, because, as much as I love Alexa Bliss, she's not a very good wrestler. She doesn't really do anything for the other wrestlers that she's wrestling against. And then they bring out Bayley, which, I said, hearing Bayley's theme, it used to bring me joy. Now it just makes me depressed because they have ruined Bayley. Like, I don't see how you could have ruined Bayley. But the WWE, they're just like, oh, just wait for it to fucking happen. Let's give you this promising young star that could be the female John Cena that sells merch. Little girls look up to her, they see her as a role model, and WWE just starts, rubbing their hands, going, you just wait to see what we do with her, motherfucker. She'll be in a feud with Dana Brooke next month. It's like, And then speaking of Dana Brooke, she's with her weird, I'm gonna talk about something that should be done in 20 seconds, but make it last a minute. She just comes out, she's like, well, Charlie, I'm here, and I'm going to go out there and wrestle, and be the next women's champion. So you best believe that these women out here make sure not to take me lightly. And then she just walks off. And it's like, well, damn, it's already fucking SmackDown by the time you're talking. And supposedly they're going to give her a push, which is just like, oh, great. I know it's just a rumor. I know there's just internet rumors. But it just goes to show you, if you whine on the internet about how awesome you think you are and how much you deserve a second chance, you might just get it, by the way. What else happened on Raw? I'm trying to think about what else happened on Raw that was worth talking about. Becky Lynch came out, talked about being the champion. She also showed Becky 2 belts. Yeah, that's awesome. Now came Lacey Evans, and Lacey Evans finally did something. She punched Becky Lynch in the face, and then Becky Lynch got some revenge and beat the shit out of her. Same thing happened next time on SmackDown, except Lacey Evans got the upper hand. So it looks like Becky's first feud is going to be against Lacey Evans, which I think that's kind of dangerous, because why would you bring this broad up who hasn't wrestled on the main roster yet and put her in a feud with the hottest babyface in the company? If she fucking wins, she better not fucking win. It wouldn't surprise me, because the WWE, again, go back to Bayley, they can't fucking help themselves, because I remember they tried to do it with Lana, where they made her a wrestler, and her very first match was against Naomi for the women's championship. And of course, she didn't win, but they really need to let Lacey, show off her skills and let the audience be more comfortable with her. Whether she's bad or good, they're still going to give her a title shot. But I haven't seen Lacey wrestle. I hear people say she's pretty good. For a second, I saw her, and I'm like, she looks a little like Phoenix Marie. And my girlfriend's in the other room, so I'm not even gonna mention who Phoenix Marie is. Anyone knows who Phoenix Marie is? Good for you. Good or bad? It's always bad when you know who someone like Phoenix Marie is. Yeah, Lacey Evans, like, she looks like someone who's like in crazy shape. Like, it's kind of like with Elias, where you see Elias's gimmick, but then you forget about how crazy in shape he is. He's a big motherfucker. Lacey Evans looks like someone who doesn't skip leg day. So again, I can't judge Lacey Evans. I can only judge her on what I'm saying now, because they're bringing her out doing these weird run-ins and looking at the crowd and walking away. It does nothing for her. It just kind of makes her character suck. And it just makes people hate her. Speaking of Elias comes out and then talks about what John Cena did and starts to rap. And then he ends with the next person interrupting is going to be a dead man. Which I immediately went, Undertaker's coming out? Undertaker comes out. Looks like he's in crazy shape, and he ends up throwing this big boot at Elias, which I was impressed by that, because we hadn't seen Undertaker do anything like that in a while. Because, the Undertaker that we've seen appearing at Mania for the past, 6 years has been, briskly walking to the ring, not taking many, bumps. But apparently, I think he got, surgery on his pelvis. And he's in crazy shape. He lost a lot of weight. He looks like he has some, muscle in him again. And he's just on this big boot at Elias, and it looked pretty impressive. And he kind of made the assumption on his Instagram that he might not be retired. Maybe he's pissed off about what happened in Saudi Arabia, because they had a really bad match, and he wants to kind of atone for that. He doesn't want the audience to leave an Undertaker match and go, that match sucked ass. Now, Undertaker's always been known as a perfectionist, so he wants to be able to have the crowd leave and be happy. And the crowd was happy when Taker came out. As soon as that gong hit, the whole place went nuts. And I actually kind of huffed for it too, because I do like the Undertaker. I'm a fan of his. Recently, they just been putting him in these weird feuds, and it's not his fault. I mean, you can't really blame him. Father Time's always undefeated, and he'll come for anybody. And truth be told, Taker should have been retired after losing a Brock. So, but the WWE, again, they can't help themselves. And I mean, of course, if WWE says, "Hey, we want you back to make a run-in, we'll pay you 6 figures, we'll pay you 7 figures," you'd be a fool not to take it. I forget what the fuck was that promo with that weird sock puppet coming out of a box. Is that supposed to be Bray? Is that the return of Bray? Like, is Bray doing sock puppets? It's like, I can't do it. I can't do a Bray impression. That's John Draper's area of expertise. I can't do a Bray impression to save my life. What the fuck was that promo about? I have no clue. I guess moving on to SmackDown real quick. We already talked about how the show opened. The main event was the New Day versus The Bar and Drew McIntyre. The New Day won. There was a point where Drew McIntyre apparently got hurt. Because I remember he did like an Alabama slam to Xavier on the table. And after that, he was just kind of like nowhere to be found. So according to fans in the audience, they saw him, being carted out of the arena with referees, because it looked like he couldn't walk on his own power. So, I mean, hopefully it's not a bad injury. Hopefully it's just something minor. I mean, again, I'm not the biggest Drew McIntyre fan, but I don't wish for anyone to get hurt. I never want anyone to get hurt. That's just my thing. What else happened on the show? The Hardy Boys versus the Usos. The Hardy Boys beat the Usos to win the tag team titles for the 8th time. They now, I don't know if it's along with the Dudleys, have won both Raw and SmackDown tag titles, WWE World Tag Champions, WCW Tag Champs, and then Ring of Honor Champs, and then Impact Wrestling Champs. So that was really unexpected that the Hardys were going to beat the Usos, because I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be one of those like passing the torch type things, that the Usos are going to win, and the Hardys were going to maybe retire and be like, all right, you guys are the best tag team in the world by far. It was overall a very good match. It was a dream match, as people would say. This match, deserved the monicum of a dream match. The Hardy Boys wearing their old school get-up that they wore in the '90s. Not the kind of fruity plaid colored ones that they wore when they first debuted. I'm talking about like when they were in the Brood, when they were doing their Hot Topic type of get-up. Matt's in insane shape, by the way. I know he's lost like a dick ton of weight, because I have him on Instagram. Because for a while he was always kind of stocky. Matt for a long time was always very stocky. Even when he, gained a little weight and people kept calling him Fat Lardy. Even before that, he was always very stocky. Lately, when he was, I guess, supposedly retired, quote unquote, and he was, doing producing, he had lost a lot of weight. Like he's like almost the size of Jeff, and Jeff's always been the skinny one. So they all, both of the Hardys, both Matt and Jeff, look amazing, especially Matt. Good for Matt. Matt's a good dude. But yeah, the Hardy Boys are tag champs, and it didn't last long because Lars came out and attacked them both. Which, again, why did Lars need to come out? Why did Lars need to come out and ruin that moment? That was the Hardys' moment, and they basically just sent Lars out to ruin the moment. Which, again, I pose the question: why did Lars need to go out? Yeah, good for the Hardys. I'm assuming this is going to be a feud for a while between the Hardys and the Usos. When does Extreme Rules happen? It seems like the perfect way to kind of end the feud. Have the Hardys versus the Usos in a TLC match, or just a ladder match. That's the quintessential dream match. What else happened that's worth talking about? Shane came out and talked a little shit, and then had Scott Hamilton say his name right. Conviction. There you go. That's the word you use. Say it with conviction. Baron Corbin needs more conviction in his voice if he's going to give out heel promos. So he's telling Scott Hamilton, say it with more conviction. He's grabbing him by his tie and telling him to say it right, and then walks to the back. And that's about it. What the hell is going on? Yeah, next week is the Superstar Shakeup, so you're not sure who's going to what show. Oh yeah, also, Braun made a run-in and went at Joe, because Joe beat up Truth, and then did the whole, there's nobody that can beat me. That's not how Joe sounds, by the way. And then Braun Strowman came out to, a lot of people's surprise, and, beat up Joe. They had a little schmoz, and Joe walks out. To which I just kind of looked at it and went, Joe versus Braun? That's very intriguing, because you have two guys who are legit badasses. Joe is a heel. He's a good heel because he's not one of those heels that runs away from a fight. He doesn't do the whole chicken shit heel thing. I don't know. Maybe I hope they don't change it just for Braun. But I like the dynamic between Joe and Braun, because you have a guy like Braun who's a big motherfucker. Who, again, he's jacked. He's in probably the best shape I've ever seen him in. And then you have Joe, who again who goes out there and just beats the shit out of people. You put those two in a feud, and you have the U.S. title on the line. That's interesting. That's an interesting feud. I can get behind that. And that's basically SmackDown. That's basically what happened on SmackDown. Overall, the shows are very weak. It's usually the SmackDown and Raws after WrestleMania are usually the best shows of the year. they weren't very weak. They didn't really have a lot to deliver. I guess they wanted to save the the shake-up for next week. I personally, I miss drafts. I don't like shake-ups. Drafts are always more surprising because you never knew who was going to be on what show. But I mean, yeah, it's the same thing for shake-up. I personally like the draft, but Vince McMahon thinks it's too old and it's outdated. So yeah, those are Raw and SmackDown and WrestleMania for you. I guess to end the show, we can talk about the whole Billy Graham situation. Billy Graham, we talked about last week, where he wasn't happy about Kofi being in it, saying that he's 135 pounds, which I'm just like, I looked up Kofi's weight and his height. He's 6 feet tall and he's 215 pounds. I don't know where he got 145 from. But after Kofi won, here's what Billy Graham put on his Facebook. Kofi Kingston, my advice. I'm sure Vince will sit Kofi down and say, "Now, Kofi, you listen to every word listen to every word the superstar has to say about your run as the first African-born WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations, Kofi, for winning the most important title in pro wrestling. Sorry, you NWA guys. Notice the word heavyweight, quote unquote, in his title. So, my man, I urge you to start doing some steroids and adding about 50 pounds of solid muscle to your championship body. Vince won't care. Honestly, actually, he would be quite pleased with your muscular transformation, as I predict that you young man will have the longest run as a WWE champion in modern day history. Then in just a short time, while you are red hot and the fans are celebrating the win, your two former partners in crime, E and Woods, get jealous and turn on you. In my day, there would be some blood and that double cross on you, but God forbid, not now. You then have Daniel Bryan for rematches and two former partners' opponents. The final suggestion is to get all my promo material together that you can find in WWE's vast library and study my promos. You must be an entertainer as well as a wrestler, my man, and best of luck with your run, SEG, Superstar Billy Graham. Anyways, Booker T had a reply to that on his podcast, and he basically just kind of echoed what I'm about to say now. These old guys need to wake up and realize that their era is over. To bring steroids into a conversation as far as what a man needs to do to get on top in the wrestling business, man, there's more to life in the wrestling business. What about your health? Adding, they got a wellness policy now. They're trying to keep these guys alive. We lost so many soldiers along the way because of steroids and drugs. And for this man to say another man needed to get on drugs to become successful, he is successful. He's the WWE champion. And Booker T then lists Billy Graham's medical problems and says that wrestling is usually make up. Well, which he's right. I mean, he's not wrong. With Billy Graham, it just seems like anything he says, nobody fucking cares about anything that Billy Graham has to say. It just seems like the guy always has a boner for the company in the worst way possible. Like, he's very bipolar. Like, on one account, he loves Vince, and he hates Vince, and he loves Vince, and hates Vince. Same thing with Stephanie. He loves Stephanie, and then he hates Stephanie. He oddly enough loves Triple H, which that's odd. He hates Linda, he loves Linda. He always has a problem with the company. He says he's not going to watch anymore, and then he watches it and criticizes it the very next day. And blah, 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 blah. And now he's coming out and telling Kofi put on steroids, and then says, "Oh, congratulations, by the way." I mean, does this guy not remember what happened to Chris Benoit? Does this guy not remember, because I remember watching his documentary where he says he can't even have kids because of steroids. And that, telling the horror stories of telling his wife to literally, stab him in the back as hard as she can to get the roids in. And Booker T's right. A lot of guys, have health problems or unfortunately die. Not largely due to steroids, but steroids played a part. So you're telling a guy to do drugs to get over. The business is a lot different than it used to be. A guy like Lars would have been successful back in the day. A guy like, Drew McIntyre would have been successful back in the day. Nowadays, people just want to see something different. We're in the era of guys that are very talented, or very athletic and very talented. Kofi fits the moniker because he's very successful. He's had a successful, career in the WWE before he became the champion. He's the first ever Black Grand Slam, champion. He's had great matches. He's very charismatic. Ever since he got in the New Day, he became a lot more charismatic and a lot more funny. And the crowd loves him. They want to see something different. If Kofi would have put on 50 pounds of muscle, it wouldn't look right. It would just look weird. It would look painfully obvious that he's on roids. So, and obviously, I'm pretty sure Kofi's heard it, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't care. He's just doing his own thing. It'd be funny if they made fun of it on the show, but hey, good for Booker T for just saying, hey, Booker T's an old school guy too. We're forgetting he came from the era of being around, Hulk Hogan, and, the Horseman, and him of all people saying, "I'll rob these old guys and wake the hell up." Good for Booker, dude. I guess that's really it for the show. Well, I have this article up from C.M Punk where he talked about Kofi Kingston. Is it up? Basically, he just talked about Kofi, and he said, Kofi winning is something that should happen a long time ago. And, the problem with WWE is that they try and stay ahead of the curve, but, they take too long to pull the trigger on something because, Kofi was over in 2009, and then what happened to Randy Orton happened. They pulled the plug on it for whatever reason. And, as much as I love Kofi, Mustafa Ali getting hurt was the reason why he's over. It's true. I'm not trashing Kofi. I love Kofi. I've always been a fan of Kofi. But Mustafa Ali getting hurt was, the best thing that ever happened to him because that's the reason why he got over. That's the reason why he got put into that Elimination Chamber match. And if it wasn't for Mustafa Ali getting hurt, we wouldn't even be talking about Kofi being champion. It probably would have been a much different match at Mania. But I'm glad Kofi is where he is right now. I love Kofi. I'm a fan of Kofi. I'm proud of him. I'm hoping his title reign lasts a little longer than I think it will. Hopefully they go with my idea and make it just last for the summer until SummerSlam, or maybe even longer than that. I don't know. So, anyways, that is the show. I want to thank anyone who downloads the show, who listens to it on Spreaker, anywhere else. Please go to iTunes and leave a review and a rating. Even if you just want to tell me that I suck and I have no friends, which is true. At least it's a review. I'm also on YouTube if you can't listen to it anywhere else. Google Play, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are distributed. What else? Again, tomorrow I'm going to record Peter on the show, so look out for that to happen. I'm pretty anxious to be on the show. I'm kind of nervous because I've never been on it, so I'm not sure what to expect from it. It's always fun being on other people's shows. Speaking of other people's shows, Texas Podcast Massacre, if you love horror movies, these guys do the job. Horror movies are past and present. They even talk about bad horror movies, and they make them entertaining. It's entertaining because it's kind of like when we watch bad horror movies and we just do all the commentating on it. I did an episode with them for the second time where we reviewed Frailty. The episode's already out. We also reviewed Insidious together. So take a look at those two episodes. You can find them anywhere podcasts are distributed. They actually have their own website, by the way. Just follow them on Twitter. Wrestling Soup, Mish, Joey, and John. Amazing guys. I've been trying to get Joey on the show. I still want that to happen because I love Joey. I can imagine him and me would just have a really interesting conversation about sports. We both seem like sports guys. I'm a sports guy to an extent. I used to be heavily into like stats and where players went to play ball in college or school. But yeah, I want to get Joey on. But yeah, also DTKC. Make sure you check out their Patreons. Both their Patreons. Literally just for $5, you can get all types of content. For a Wrestling Suits Patreon, you can access the vault and get old episodes, like from the very first episode of Soup. You also get new content like Breakfast Soup, Dark Chronicles with John Draper. What else is happening? A spin-off of Wrestling Soup called The Fact Show, Frankie Gus with Joey and Mish, where it's basically just like another Wrestling Soup extra where they're talking about anything out of the week. Also with Kevin Castle, he has 2 shows. He has a solo show called Castle Chronicles and then Dark Chronicles with our very, very good friend Shrez, who just got engaged. Congratulations, sir. I know it happened like maybe 2 weeks before, but I'm saying it. Congratulations to Shrez. I'd love to have her back on the show, by the way. Architect podcast with Derek and Irving. I'm not sure if they released a new episode just yet, but they cover a lot more nerdy stuff than me. They go a lot more deeper into the nerd space-time continuum. I couldn't think of a word. Check them out. You can find them anywhere podcasts are sold. Again, Peter's show, The Peter Position. I love that name, by the way. You can find him anywhere podcasts are distributed. He also has another podcast called Pops and Bangers, where they talk about music. So if you're a music fan, you might want to check that out. Julian from the Wrestling Court. I listen to him on Spotify. I'm not sure where else his show is distributed, but Julian's a good dude. Good friend. Like him. He knows his shit. He knows his shtick. Tyler. I don't know if it's Tyler or Tyler. He has a show with Julian, the French guy, on the Hipster. I think it's called the Hipster City Podcast, I believe. I think it's a fairly new show, so check it out. Tyler's a good dude. B Show Brian J, another good friend of the show. I think he just joined Spreaker not too long ago. Another good dude. You can find all of his shows on anywhere else podcasts are distributed. And a friend of mine, Seth, he's trying to put out a podcast. Not sure when that's going to happen, but hopefully it happens sometime soon. And if I'm forgetting any names, I'm sorry. I have a lot of good friends in the podcast world. But that's the show. Thank y'all for listening. I'll be back next week.